All right, welcome back to another episode of House Battle Uber Rich Edition today. Very excited about this one. We've got Greenwich, Connecticut versus Vail, Colorado. We're going uber rich, 40 million plus dollars. These are estates. These are not houses. This is a state battle today. Let's get into it, starting with Greenwich. Curb appeal. What do you got?
So Greenwich is a $40 million house. It is 14,000 square feet and it has 17 acres of land. There are 7 bedrooms and 9 full bath and 4 half. Honestly, I thought that there would be more bedrooms in this house by looking at it. I'm very interested to see what the rest of the house is if there's only 7. It's massive. Um, I'm a little underwhelmed with it for $40 million, if I'm being honest. And I like white country looking house, like, cute houses. What do you think?
I don't like their windows. I've got a thing with windows, and I hate these windows. I don't like uh they have like the place with the door with the little walkway there, and then the part of the house to the right of that. I don't know what happened with those windows. There's just a big empty space in the middle, which I guess is supposed to be covered by that giant tree. Except when you're not standing directly in front of the giant tree, it's not really going to help you. So I don't understand what's happening with that. It's a very large house. I mean, this house is
Yeah.
absolutely massive. It's got it appears to be some sort of corn maze situation in front of it.
I
Um,
think that's the most impressive part, honestly, is their corn maze.
I don't. I just. I mean, it's nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. 17 acres. I mean, that's a lot of acres. That's a big plot of land. I mean, you got nice trees. You got a lot of stuff. Whatever. It looks fine. But curb appeal. I'm coming up to it. It's. I mean, they got some bald eagles here. They got some of these bald eagles
Yeah.
on the stuff. So that's kind of interesting. Again, right there, like you can see these trees are supposed to be. They're supposed to kind of cover that up. I don't know. The siding. I'm just not that into this look. I'm not that into
The
this look.
other thing that's throwing me off after you mentioned windows, in that big middle part where there's the gap, the 2 windows only have one shutter
Yep.
on the inside, and at that point, I just don't understand why you put shutters on. It looks worse with the one shutter
It looks
than
really bad.
going without.
It looks really bad. I don't know what this is a picture of.
I
Um,
think this is another corn maze.
this just, I mean, they're just take. It's just a picture from the sky. I mean, that literally means nothing to me. I don't understand what's happening. All right. So you got a big lawn. I mean, that's a nice look, right? I mean, this is sort of seems to be in the back.
Yeah.
You got a what do they call those? The thing in the yard
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Forgetting what that's called.
I
Anyways,
want to
you got
call
one
it
of
a
those.
gondola, but it's not a
No,
gondola.
it's I don't know, whatever.
Gazebo.
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 That's right. Gazebo. So you've got some vinery on there. I mean, hey, these like smaller pictures, like this looks fine. It's not. I like this look from the top though. When you pull back, it just doesn't look as good. This is the back. I like the trees that they have out there. It's a nice lawn. I mean, it's a big area. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's $40 million. You're buying quite a bit. The views are nice. You're pretty secluded, obviously. I mean, 17 acres, probably not hearing your neighbors or anything. And so, the amount of gardens that you have and everything is nice. And I'm not sure that's a gazebo. That might actually just be a greenhouse.
Yeah, now that I'm getting closer, I agree. They have a lot of really nice designated green spaces that are well manicured. I guess
Yeah.
you would have that for this much land and hopefully for 40 million. Oh, look at this. This is what you do with some of that.
Okay. So we've got a tennis court. We've got a pool. The pool didn't look very big to me. It's more of a
No,
personal
and
pool,
it
maybe.
looks, yeah, but it does look like they have decked it out with different
Oh
like
yeah, no,
you
that,
know,
yeah,
different
they've
tables. And
definitely.
this is
It's
an
a,
equestrian.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is for, yeah. If you got horses, that's what it is. You could ride out there in the lawn, or on your grass area. You can actually train the horses in there. I'm sure you've got some pretty nice stables.
Yes, look at
So
how consistent the lawn is done from this aerial view. Honestly,
yeah, I would say the
it's
groundskeepers
gorgeous.
here. I don't know who they hire, but whoever those people are, they do a great job. Um,
Absolutely.
Again, more of this nice kind of seating and everything, and it's just, yeah, the pool, it's not a place to throw pool parties, right?
No.
That's not really what this is built for. I don't necessarily know if you want to be doing that, but I mean, if you got $40 million to drop on a house, I don't really know what else you're doing other than looking after whatever's making you that money. So I just sort of feel like it would be a bigger pool, but whatever. And there's that thing that they showed from the sky. I don't know. I still don't know what it
Yeah.
is. It's just like a little place you can walk. It's just sort of decorative at that point. I don't really
Yeah, it's
understand.
like a meditation garden.
But they do have some nice trees coming in, so that'll look nice. Eventually.
Yeah,
They've
they
obviously planted some of these, and so that's going to look really good in the future. Again, another shot of this table that I've now seen like 3 times.
I know.
I'm not sure
It's a
why that
small
table they
pool.
continue. It's a very small pool and it has a diving board. I don't. The diving board is what threw me off. Like if you didn't have the diving board, I wouldn't have understood how small it was, honestly. But I mean, having the tennis court and all of that. I mean, that's nice. There are, I don't know, roughly 75 tables outside of this house. Like you were just constantly sitting in other places.
How do
Is Greenwich,
you,
Connecticut
yeah.
that nice? Is the weather that nice in Greenwich, Connecticut? Can you sit outside a
Uh,
substantial
I
amount of time?
mean, you can sit outside from, I think it really depends around April to like October, depending on when you get snow. I mean, you do get snow in Greenwich, Connecticut, but you don't get as much as the Midwest typically. You would have like ice storms would be what would really take you out in Connecticut more so. So it depends on the year, but it does get cold during the fall. Like you don't want to be sitting at a table.
It just seems like
Um,
there's too many. It seems like they have too many tables. They have too many tables. I don't really understand what they're doing with these tables. I don't know what this is. This is just another house on the property, I guess. Is that what this
I
is?
guess
This appears
so.
to be some sort of like
Yeah.
colonial build. Like I mean, that kind of seems like a. I guess maybe it's modern. I don't. I'd be curious to know when they actually built that. Kind of seems like an old one. This is a not as nice of a treehouse as I thought it would be. It's cool to have a treehouse
No.
though, but if you're a kid at 40 million in one of these things, like I would assume that you would have like a real, like kind of a baller treehouse,
Yeah.
like one of those where they got that show. It's like treehouse. By the way, we've seen
Yes.
nothing but the outside of this house. We
Yes.
are 2/3 of the way through these pictures. There's nothing but
I'm
the outside of this house. I'm
I'm
not.
realizing that I might have messed up and there were no pictures of the inside because I looked at a couple and I did not look at like the half of it and I just assumed, but I don't know if there's going to be any
I
pictures of
mean, it
the
is shocking. I guess if you have 17 acres, like you have to take pictures of all of it, and most of the pictures they've shown the same table like 4 or 5 times, but like other than that, they're all pretty unique things. But like, here's a bell. Like, I don't why. What is this bell? I don't know what this bell is. Like, is this a historical landmark? It could be. Is it Greenwich,
it could
Connecticut? I don't
be.
know.
Yeah.
Was Greenwich part of like the like the original colonies, and like was there some historic, possibly, I don't know, but it's just a bell. Like that doesn't tell me anything. But these grounds are awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, like these grounds are fantastic. The horse area here, the horse kind of training grounds, very cool. They do have that nice stone wall that kind of goes around this. This is a church or something that's on there. Maybe like an old,
It's
used to be a church.
very New England. Yes.
It's extremely New England. I just don't know. Like you have 17 acres of stuff. How old is this? This looks like pretty new, like relatively.
This
So
might
this
be
doesn't
the
look
stable
historic.
area. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Too.
okay. It's the stable. Yeah, no, I bet you're right.
It's
So
a really nice stable.
yeah, it's an
Yeah.
unbelievable stable, but it's like a stable,
Oh, you
and
get
so you have.
goats.
I wonder if you get to purchase those goats.
I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, it's just shocking though that you have like, so they're showing all of these things and they have yet to show a single picture inside this house, which I don't know what that says about the house itself. Like I can't, honestly, I don't know, because they're showing all of this detail around the house, but the house is like, what'd you say, like 14,000 square feet? Like that's a lot of house that I'm
14,000
buying.
square feet.
This is an unbelievable, I'm guessing that's a garage. That's my guess.
That is my guess too.
It's a really nice garage. Like that is a really nice
This
garage. This would be a
this
house
could
for most
even,
people.
yeah, I was gonna say this could even be like a separate house on the property for
Yeah,
the groundskeepers to live in. I mean, this is
absolutely. I mean, it's very nice. I love the trees, like
nice.
all that stuff happening. I'm
Yeah.
just concerned, like honestly, like I'm concerned if I'm buying this house, if I'm a rich person and I'm going online and I'm gonna find these houses, right? And I'm like, you know what I want to do today? I want to drop $40 million on a house. Now, maybe if I have $40 million to drop on a house, I'm just like, screw it. Like I have so much money that it doesn't matter. But I have to assume that if I have $40 million, unless it was just handed to me at birth, and I have no concept, even a tiny concept of like the value of a dollar, I have to assume that I care about what the 14,000 square feet of covered space looks like that I'm getting for my $40 million. So I'm going to go online and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna say, all right, great, let's get into some houses today. And I click on this one, and there are zero pictures inside this house. I am very concerned, and all the things that I've seen
Yeah.
outside do not draw me enough to say now I want to go test out what's inside. I'm almost insulted with having $40 million and you won't show me what's inside the house. It's like you're tempting me to say, hey, come see what's inside. Like you want to tempt me to get in there. But I'm legitimately almost insulted because of the fact that you won't show me inside. Not a single room inside this house was shown. That is an amazing display of ignorance by a real estate agent, I feel, because all of the rest of it was just sort of, it was nice, but none of that screamed I have to buy it. Like I didn't even see inside the stables. So if I'm a big
Yeah.
stable person, I go, great, I see the outside, what does the inside look? Because the inside of stables look very different depending on where you are. And I'm assuming it's nice, but they're not showing me. So I'm actually very concerned about this house with not being able to see. But this is a very interesting house because this is the first one we've done where they didn't show a single picture inside the home. That is I genuinely don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
I don't either. I was thinking initially that maybe it was a privacy issue or they didn't want people to know what they have inside their house. But I feel like if you're selling a $40 million house, as you mentioned, take down maybe your really expensive art that might tempt people to come into steal. Like I know that is something that but you also gave us free reign of your entire property to like know how to get around it and what else you have on the actual property to kind of scope out your place. So like, I guess maybe this is because I don't have enough money to buy a $40 million house, but I don't know how you couldn't stage the house within the means of your budget at that point to make it accessible to take pictures of. There are so few buyers in the world that can buy a $40 million house that you probably like really need to attract those key buyers. And if I'm moving from out of state, which is often why, you're buying it, you're not like moving down the road to a different $40 million house. You're scoping it out online first, and then you're going to make your rounds. And Greenwich, Connecticut has a lot of expensive houses. Some of those are estates on the water. So that you can get, this is the most expensive one that you can get for $30 million. And maybe you don't have as much land, but you have some other cool features. So I don't understand how realistically they're going to resell this house without at least showing what the master bedroom and the kitchen looks like. It's got to be out of date. It's got to be out of date. Like it just has to be. There's no way.
I just don't get it. I don't. This is an interesting listing. It's one of the most interesting listings that we've ever seen. I genuinely don't understand what's happening with it. I genuinely have no idea how this works. It's just interesting. It's an interesting house. It's an interesting land. I like a lot of what I saw. I don't understand the bell. That one still gets me. I don't know what that is in reference to. But that's it. That's Greenwich. That's the outside of Greenwich. That's the outside of a place in Greenwich.
Yeah,
So let's
foolish
hop
me to think
over.
that they would have inside pictures.
I mean, 47
I
of
had
them.
looked through like 20 of them, and I was like, yeah, we'll have it. And my mistake, honestly.
I mean, you'd think they would do something there. But so let's hop over to Vail, Colorado. $45 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
So even
yes.
more expensive, up in the mountains, sitting in the high class, high altitude curb appeal. What do you got?
So before I jump into curb appeal, this house is about 8,800 square feet. It is 6 bed, 7 full bath, and 2 half bath. It is on a little less than half an acre. I think this looks
A
like a
little less
modern
than
art museum.
half an
Yeah.
acre.
Yes.
Wow.
It's 0.43.
So there's not much of a yard. Interesting.
No, it's the house. It's got to
That's
be. But it looks like a
that's
modern art
interesting.
museum to me. This is literally a modern art museum in my mind, including the little art
Yeah,
piece in the
I mean,
front.
this is obviously like an architect's like wet dream that they got to design this. I don't care for the outside of this building. I don't think any of it goes together. Even saying like I'm not a fan of modern architecture, but even saying that, I don't think any of this modern architecture works with the rest of the modern architecture. I think if you took the left and the right side of this and you had gone with that sort of look, which is sort of a white and black Lego look, I think that would have worked all the way through, but then all of a sudden I've got some beige going on. I've got
Yeah.
some vertical bars happening that don't happen anywhere else. I've got some glass. There's too much. And honestly, if it's my house, the problem that I have with this is, especially when they took this picture, which is a nice time to take this picture, the light is yellow and it does the yellow light or the orangish glow of the light does not work with the rest of it, and that's actually a detractor for me to see something like that because it takes away from the crispness of that black and white kind of slate look. It takes it away and it sort of softens it a little bit, and that's not really what you want if you're going for the contrasting style. So
I
it looks like an additional color that you weren't trying to add, but you added it anyways.
I've never been to Vail, but in my mind, this also isn't what I'm expecting. I don't know. Like, it doesn't give me the feeling of going into the mountains. I'm not saying it needs to be a log cabin, but this again reminds me of something that you would see, in LA, New York City, or there. Whereas,
Oh,
I
this is
think
very
most
LA.
people,
This is very LA for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Whereas like most people are vacationing to get away from what they live in, so that's an interesting design choice, I would think.
Uh, so they've got an infinity pool. All right. Well,
Yeah, this is cool.
I guess I don't know if that's called an infinity pool. I think it is. But
Yeah, because
it's
the
the Las
edge kind of,
Vegas.
yeah.
It's got that Las Vegas look where I think it's the Playboy Suite is what it is. You can see from the strip, like you look up and it's got the hot tubs that are like this, except it's all
Yeah,
glass around it.
aren't the
Um,
bottoms,
yeah, it's
are
all
those
glass.
open?
The whole
Yeah.
thing, yeah,
Oh,
the whole thing is
okay.
glass. It's that, so that's the kind of look that you're getting here. This is very cool. On the back, it's very cool, even with
Yeah.
the yellow light, which again I still don't like. I think that looks really bad. And my guess is that's actually the tint on the windows, not the inside.
I
Because if
think
that's the
that's
inside light, that's bad. I it's not something you probably would have thought about, and it's probably not something that most people care about, but for me it looks really really bad. Like if I am looking at this, it looks like yellow is a third color that you've tried to include in your house, and it takes away from the crispness of this blue of the pool that goes with the rest of it. But if we remove that and maybe we fix these windows or something, I like the back of this house much better than the front.
100% agree.
The fencing is what throws me off. If that was glass all the way around, I think that would be better, because the fencing is what makes it give us that museum feel that you were talking about. It kind of it's like,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is where we are or whatever. But the trees are very cool, like being inside these pines and all of that. Like that's a very very cool feature. uh The fireplace, I don't care for that fireplace. But I mean, okay, like I see here, like this is cool, except this is the only place that happens. If I have this pool, I kind of want it to be like the rest of it. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah,
only
to
place
have
that
that
happens,
whole strip. Yeah.
and it just doesn't happen
Looking to the
anywhere. Like
trees.
that's
Yeah.
very like that would be really cool
Absolutely.
to
Valid
look at the
point.
trees, but that's a really weird. I don't know. It sort of looks like it's almost like a baseball card box that you're trying to pull out or something like that. Like it's just I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
very strange thing. All right, so now we're in now for the first time in this episode. For the first time in this episode, we have gone inside an enclosed space. We've got interior design, Vail, Colorado. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't hate it, but it does have more of a museum type feeling to it. Like we bring this up very often with the uber rich houses that it looks like a waiting room of an office building or a hotel, and it reminds me of a
That must be a
hotel right
thing.
now.
It must be a thing. It must be a thing that like when you're rich, you just want that. Honestly, I mean seriously, like that's I'm
Yeah,
not
I
even saying it's
mean,
bad. It's not even that. It's not my look, but I'm not even like this looks nice. It's a very nice look to it. I don't care for that wood panel on their accent wall there. I think that again, you're throwing me
I
out. Like
agree.
if that had been a gray slate, so if you didn't want to go black and white, but you wanted to go like a gray slate, sort of like you see on the left side of that painting, that would look really cool there. I think it would also go with the rest of everything. The open fireplace is sort of an
I like the
an interesting
fireplace.
look. So that's kind of cool. It's unique. It's not something that you see in all the other places. You have these windows are fantastic. The windows in this place are unbelievable. These are
What I
awesome.
find weird is though the entire room is like positioned to not have people easily look out the window. It is an interesting design choice. Yes, I understand looking at
Yeah,
the fireplace, but then they could have sectioned it off the bit with the two chairs and the other, they could have sectioned that off to be looking outside where they don't have
I
that. They have
think
this amazing view and everyone is looking at their fireplace,
I think what people would
which is a
say about this
TV.
one, I think is in order to experience that fireplace, you have to be closer to it, which is fine. But I think honestly, what happened, like I think that's revisionist history. That's sort of hindsight that people would make that determination. I think what happened was they said, let's like we agree with you. Let's get a sofa that runs along basically where these two chairs are right now that sort of runs from the fireplace all the way back here. And what they basically figured out is it's the room is too big. So they couldn't actually put a
Mm.
sofa in there that was more of an L shape. They couldn't fit it in there size wise where it didn't look awkward. And so they were like, well, we have to split it into two very specific parts. That's why they had the rug on the other one. And then they went back and they said, well, because we can't do that, we'll just say, oh, it's so that we can get closer to that fireplace. I honestly think that's what happened. Because if you had taken
Yeah,
that sofa and you turned it, or you take that sofa and you turn it, it's going to go probably to about this first chair. Somewhere it's sort of not all the way to the end of the first chair, but somewhere in the middle of that first chair. And then you have another sofa that runs the other way. I think what happened, honest to God, is they looked at that and they said it looks really weird because the amount of space around it then becomes awkward.
yeah, I
Um,
guess I would have at least turned the second L sofa that's closer to the window. So when you're looking, you're like all looking out, and then you really have two defined spaces. So then there is a corridor to walk through, and it like
well,
yes,
right,
it closes the room, but then you have two rooms because it is huge.
right. No, I agree, but I think that honestly, I just think
I
it was revisionist history.
I
I think they
I
changed it and they
agree.
were like, this looks terrible. Like we can't we can't do this because it looks
I
really
think you
really
nailed it.
bad. Um, either that or take actually get four of those L-shaped sofas and just stick them. Don't connect them, but stick them in there. So you can, no matter where you're sitting, you can kind of have it. But it's that long fireplace that kind of screwed them up, I think.
I
But anyways,
agree.
that's probably too much on this particular room. But that's fine. But it is interesting. I mean, it's an interesting room. Those chairs look super
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
absolutely.
What do you think about these doors like that are basically giant walls? They're sort of like Indiana Jones doors. Like that's kind of what I think. Like Indiana Jones or like
I
the Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever. Like that's what I think about, right?
I don't love them, but I do appreciate them in a $45 million house. It's a rich person touch.
I genuinely
Um,
think that's one of the coolest things you can have, and I'm pretty sure I would hate it if I owned it but I think it's one of the coolest
that's
things you
like
can have.
practically, I'm not interested in it.
How
But
heavy
that
do you
look,
think that door is? Do you think you
you
could
have to
manually
pay
open that door?
someone to open that door for you if you
Do
want
you
to
think
leave
you
your.
have like a remote? Like, do you just have you just
Personally, like
constantly
you have
walking
to, I
around?
would have to. There's no way I'm opening that.
I mean, I'm just like genuinely, I don't know, because that's stone. I mean, that is a solid stone because this is, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a $45 million house. That's not like a hollow door, you know? It's not like one of those doors, you know, that you get in like your starter apartment, you know, it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's basically a cardboard with a bunch of air pockets in the middle. Like that's a solid stone door. Even on the best hinges, I don't know, you know, you throw some WD-40 on that, I'm still not sure how you're opening it. Is that an
It is a
elevator right there?
very
That's an elevator, right? That
it looks like
piece right
it.
there is an elevator.
Yes.
I
The one
genuinely,
little.
and this is a thing. I don't know. Here's why I don't get it. When I was younger and I would watch MTV Cribs, which if this show becomes MTV Cribs, I will be so happy. MTV Cribs was one of the greatest shows of all time. It was an
Truly.
unbelievable show. It led to one of the greatest Dave Chappelle skits of all time. But MTV Cribs was awesome. Everybody loved MTV Cribs. There wasn't a single person who didn't love MTV Cribs. When I was that old, and you know, I don't know, I can't remember how old I was, but I don't know, 10, you know, so somewhere between like 8 and 12, probably something like that. When it first started and I saw it and I was like, oh man, this is cool. I thought that having an elevator would be the coolest thing in the entire world. Like every once in a while, they go inside somebody's house. They were like, I have an elevator. And I was like, these people are awesome. They've made it. Like, that's the American dream, right? Now I look at elevators and I think they are the most pretentious thing you could possibly have. What do you need an elevator in this house for? It's like 12 stairs. Just walk up and down them. Unless you're a 90-year-old woman, in which case, don't own a $45 million home with a door you can't open. Like, just walk down the stairs. I just can't, I fundamentally don't understand elevators. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand the appeal.
My parents used to have a house that had an elevator and we never used it. And my dad did buy it because he was planning on retiring there and he does not like stairs at all. Like that is a feature that if there is more than one flight of stairs, he wants it. At the time, he was planning on potentially having my grandparents move there. So that would have been a nice feature, but we never used it for anything. Like if we did have to, the kitchen was on the second floor, so that was kind of a pain because if you had groceries, sometimes we would use it, but really it wasn't, you know, the amount of time for the average event to get into an elevator and use it takes way more than walking up that, you know, the one flight of stairs. Even in an 8,800 square foot house, I can't imagine that is the most practical way of getting around.
And it looks bad. I think because like it has these
Yeah,
lights and it's got this glass and stuff. If it was just this giant pole, so if you basically just like solidified that, like took the elevator out and just dumped a bunch of concrete in it or whatever, and it was just basically a giant post running through your house, that's actually kind of interesting because that's sort of a design feature that would be super impractical, but like it's kind of interesting because it's not just a normal column that you have. It's like a column. I mean, this is a capital C column. Jumbo size, that's cool. Otherwise, it's just kind of there, and it makes it feel too commercially and all that stuff.
Again, it makes it look like a hotel or a museum. Your eye is immediately drawn to it upon entering the house, which is another weird design choice. Like that's not what I would want to showcase.
Yeah, no, I agree. So this is a kitchen, I guess. I'm assuming one of many kitchens. It's nice. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's you know, it's kind of, it is what it is. The island's decent.
It looks like a kitchenette to me, honestly.
That's how it feels.
Kitchen.
It's got really great windows though. It's very cool windows. I mean, obviously it's not that 5-room place, but that's very cool.
It's whatever to me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. So you know, all right. So here's a patio. You got the couches and all that. You're looking out on the mountains. You know, if it's snowing or whatever, you know, it's a little cold outside. You know, maybe you get a little heat source out there and you're doing fine. This is a great place to throw a party in the summer, something like that. This is very cool. I like this. Again, the pool's fine. Like I don't mind the pool. It's just I don't get, like, I don't know why they didn't infinity the whole thing. or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
I think they should have done a little bit more. I am assuming that this is a master. I'm guessing. I'm guessing this is the master. This is a very cool master. It's got, the curtain. Those curtains aren't quite as thick as I might want myself, but maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, darkening agent that you can put on the window or something like that
I
to keep it
wonder
out.
because the windows don't seem to have a yellow glare, so I wonder if there is something done at night. I mean, you could still
It
see
could
through it,
be.
but I
It
wonder
could
if
be.
that is like something that goes on from, because looking out, it doesn't look like there's a yellow glare on the windows, but at
Yeah.
night, it definitely looks like the glass, it has
Yeah.
a yellow tint to it. I'm also curious if you can access the patio from this room.
I would think so. I would think that
I mean, you would
some part
have
of that
to.
opens up. I don't think it's that middle part, but yeah, I mean, you have to be able to. I mean, this is a nice room. It's a great room. Oh, this is an interesting. It's an interesting shower that they've. It's an interesting choice on the flooring that they've done in here. This might be the
Yeah.
first one of those that we've seen as well. Actually, honestly,
I
in
don't
any house
think,
that we've done,
yeah.
that is just straight up. It's the same floor all the way through. That's an interesting style. I don't really like it, but it's interesting. The
And
window that they
it
have
looks
in
level
there.
completely. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's that, which is why I don't like it. I mean, there's no lip. Like, you're just constant water is just going to get everywhere.
And this is slippery as
Yeah. Oh yeah.
fork. Like
I
there's
would.
no way you aren't eating it at
Yeah.
least
I would.
once
I
a
would
day.
fall. I would fall constantly. Um, they do have these are nice. Like all the rest of it's nice. The window is pretty nice. That they have in there. I mean, that's a full size window. I mean,
I
you're seeing some
know.
stuff in that shower. That's pretty cool because that window is inside that shower.
The
Um,
window's inside the shower, and you can. It looks like there's a door that
yeah,
this second larger, so it must be accessible from the pool area where
yeah.
you can come directly in and shower, which is well thought out. Honestly, I don't think
No, that's cool. That's very cool for sure. What else we got here? Oh, all right. So this is an indoor pool, an indoor
It looks like a
spa. It's like a Turkish
spa.
bath.
Yeah.
Is it two different hot tubs? You think?
I don't know if one's just like for your feet or this is I'm not rich enough to
This is
understand.
this is
It
a
does
straight
look
up.
like
I mean,
there's a
this is a spa.
sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a sauna in the back and then there's a shower. This is we have never seen anything close to this. This is very cool. I like the marble because it looks like they also have some black lights to really bring the veining out, which is like uh, this looks cool.
I don't understand what's happening in this room. Like, genuinely, I don't get what's happening, but it is cool. I mean, this is a really cool feature to have in a
I wonder
house.
if this short one you stand there and then it sprays you like there's some kind of I don't
I
know.
assume so. I don't know I mean, I don't know how you corral that spray. Like, that's my concern is how you corral that spray. But
I think
this
you
is a very
pay
nice room.
someone.
This is a very
This is
nice room.
crazy.
I don't understand what's happening, but I do like it. It's pretty cool. That shower there, just the whole thing. It's a nice room. This is a rich
Yeah, and
person
it
touch
looks
for
like it
sure.
has heat coming down from the shower, which is just
I don't know if that's heat. I think that might be one of those.
oh, infrared.
No, well, like basically lights inside of one of those shower head, the raindrop shower head things, or whatever.
Okay.
That might be lights inside of it, like you put on the bottom of a car or something. Again, like this view is not. This is the nicest view of the outside of this house. It's this the back side of it
Absolutely.
is the nicest view, 100%. So that's I mean that's fine. This is that. I am not impressed with this. This is that bottom on the bottom there. It's got that.
Yeah, you were saying
This does nothing. This does nothing for me. It seems like it's too jammed in. It's interesting that you can see the bottom of the pool, but again, you can only see part of the bottom of the pool. It doesn't run all the way. I don't get that choice. It's like very specific parts of the pool that you can do. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like being in one of those glass bottom boats, but it's not, the whole thing isn't glass, which sort of takes away from it. I think it sort of looks like you ran out of money, honestly, that you didn't continue that all the way through.
I like the how lit the stairs are. For some reason, that is my favorite part of this area.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting for sure.
I've never seen that before. I think it's interesting that they don't have any. They haven't put any furniture out here because I think you're right. It looks a little awkward, and they haven't shown you what it's used for because I don't think they figured that out either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know what you would do with this. I have no idea. This is another long fireplace room, I guess. You know, it's fine. This one's fine. I don't
This
know.
is, I think, on that first floor next to the fire pit area.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a
Um,
hotel. I don't know. This is a cool
yeah,
area. It's a nice patio. It's got good views, you know. But again, I've seen this in this house, you know. So they have a few of these, whatever, but they're not blowing me away with them. You know, again at night, it's you know, it is what it is. They keep showing me this pool. I don't understand. Like, I get it. You have a pool. This is that same first room. It's
yeah.
not. I mean, it's just not that interesting. What the hell is this thing? I don't know what this is. This was that statue that was on the front, right?
I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe not. I don't know because those are
It
plugs.
looks.
This must be
I
inside.
know.
I don't know what this is. I honestly
This
don't
looks
know what
like a
this is.
sink area, but without, like, this looks like
Oh,
a sink area of a
I bet that
bathroom.
maybe.
But
Yeah,
without the bigger picture first, this looks like a
it's very weird.
baptism type situation.
This is very weird. I don't know what that was. This is a very nice. This is a great bathroom. That's right off of the
Yeah,
pool. That's it. I didn't
yeah. This
realize
is
that it was
that
going to be right
same.
off the
Yeah,
pool.
and that's what I was saying. So we're looking at where the door is. So you come out of the pool, and you really do walk right
Oh, this is the same
into.
one.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Go
No,
back.
it is because
That
it had.
shower. Oh,
Yep.
okay. I see. Okay. Oh, that shower's longer than I thought it was. Oh, you're right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
You're
I
right.
didn't see this before, but they have a towel heating rack right there
Yeah.
next to which is,
Yeah.
oh, that's a rich person touch.
That's a huge bathroom. That's way
I
longer than I
know.
thought it was. I mean, it was already
This
big,
is
but like this is a massive bathroom.
this
This
is a
bathroom is like
spa
200 feet long. I
in
mean, seriously.
itself, and they have an actual spa already on their property. Like
Oh my
this is
god.
like,
I can't imagine the audio visual that you have to have through here. I mean, you can see like I think they have some speakers up top. Like I can't imagine how much that must have cost to put it because there's so much space in this house that you have to have all those if you want to hear like the TV that you're putting on. It's just tiny TV if I'm sitting over near the shower, you know, or something like that. Like it's just
yeah.
a small TV. Not that I would be over there watching the TV, but you know,
I think
anyways,
it's
I don't know.
probably targeted for the bath, but
I'm
you're
sure it
right.
is. I just didn't realize how big that bathroom was. That bathroom's massive. So this must be that same bedroom that we saw.
I think this is a different bedroom.
Wait, is there? Okay, there. Okay, sorry. It looked like that bed was connected to that little table thing or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's very weird. I don't like the size of this fireplace in this room. It's too small,
It's really
and
weird. Yeah.
I don't think it's centered on that white statement wall, and I don't like that. That's the first time that I've seen that I haven't done that. But they do have some interesting natural light coming through in most of their rooms, it appears, which is like sort of these top sets of windows that are sort of recessed and kind of hidden away, but it's going to allow a lot of that light to come through. That's an interesting touch that they've added to a lot of these.
I really like that because there's no sense of foregoing privacy for natural light. You don't even really notice it, but you have a lot of really great light. Again, though, like that would be a lot of light to not really be able to sleep. So I'm hoping that they'd have to have all of the light that you just changes at night.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know what the sculpture thing is, but yeah, I mean whatever. Like it's fine. It's just the yellow of those. It just looks like another thing. All right, so this is got to be the top deck here.
Yeah,
It's got a nice. I don't know if you can cover. Is that a fully covered? I don't think that's a fully covered area. I can't tell. Maybe there's something you could sit in there, whatever. But they got a nice bar here. This is a great place to throw parties, to bring people over, to sit, to chat, to do all those things. It is another one. I'm guessing those chairs spin. But it is another one that is currently set up to to not take advantage of this of this giant mountain that you have to your right.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice area. I like this top deck quite a bit. It's it's recessed, but it is you do have all those trees. The trees are very cool. You are on the mountain. I mean, you are, so that's a cool picture of the view from your pool. Like you are in the mountain. You do feel it once you get inside there, but I agree with you. It's not a mountainy house. But there is something inside. An interesting, okay, so this is that pool area. This is a better picture. I don't know why this wasn't the first picture.
Yeah.
This is a much better picture because now I can actually understand what's happening. I just didn't get it. I couldn't figure out what the hell was happening in that first picture. I still don't know what the two different pools are for, the two different areas are for, but it's interesting. It's a very nice room. It's a very nice room.
Yeah,
It's a
it
sauna.
is
It's a steam
labeled steam
shower.
shower, sauna, and massage room.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you had this, like you're rich and you're doing all this stuff or whatever, but yeah, it's a spa. I mean, it's a spa inside your house, which is an interesting thing. You probably want to relax if you got that much money. You're probably super relaxed. Um, Again, I like this is a cool thing, but it's weird that it doesn't run all the way. I don't that part doesn't make any sense to me. And this fake grass down here is really weird too. They have it on both sides. I don't understand the fake
Yeah,
grass. They've
this
shown
is
this
a
same picture
lot.
like 12 times. It's the same picture. I've seen this picture like 12 times. I don't understand why I've seen this picture so many times. Um,
This is where I
so
guess the garage
it's got the garage
area.
area. Looks like pretty decent garage. Cool, kind of cool doors. I mean, as far as garage doors go, like those are pretty cool. It's sort of sunken down. That's kind of an interesting touch there. But whatever. I mean, it's not nothing to write home about. But once you get inside, it looks like it looks pretty nice. Obviously, this is a great place to showcase if you have nice cars. The problem with having nice cars in the mountains is if you're there in the winter, is they're going to get ruined. Like they just will. There's just too much stuff happening. So this is more of a showcase for the summer. Maybe if you had like a G-Wagon or something like that, you put it in here in the winter and all that stuff. But it's going to be dirty. It's going to have all that stuff. So that part is something you're going to have to pay attention to. But in the summer, especially, this is a very nice place to. They seem to have built these to kind of showcase a car, right? So you have a super expensive car in there, and it kind of showcases it. That can be really nice for sure. This is, I mean, it's nice. It's much better. And now you can see the house in the daytime, and you can see that there's not that yellow light coming, and it looks
Yeah.
it looks different. It looks like a completely different house. It does, honestly. It just looks like a completely different house. But it's nice, it's nice. So that's it. That's it. That was Vail, Colorado. So now we've got a decision to make. Greenwich, Connecticut, $40 million. Who knows what's inside that house? Vail, Colorado, $45 million. We've seen almost every room. You've got $45 million to spend. Who are you going with?
I think I am going to Vail. Not seeing inside the house was kind of big, but also if I take into consideration the outside for me personally, the usability of the Vail house, even just it's more aligned with what I would want in a house. The Greenwich house, the pool was kind of far away from the property. I don't know if I'd really use all those animals or what I would do with that. Like for me, I kind of took out the actual house out of the equation. I just thought of the outside spaces because that's what we were left with. And you have significantly less actual living space in Vail, but I do feel like it was showcased better. Greenwich to me just is still a memory of a hodgepodge bunch of random areas that don't tell a cohesive story to owning your property. Like you could have multiple families live there and you would have no idea.
This is sort of an interesting decision, I guess, for me. I'm still shook from the fact that I literally don't know what's inside the Greenwich house. Like it's not even a red flag. It's a confusion. I don't understand what that means or why that happened. The grounds are awesome. The outside of this house is better than the outside of the Aspen house. It just is. It's definitely different. To your point, it's definitely different. But you have so much land. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. They have all of this extra stuff. If you're a horse person, obviously, if horse is the most important thing in your life, like obviously you have to go to Greenwich because you just don't have. You can't do that in Vail, right? So they're two very, very different styles. What is concerning to me about the Vail house is that it's 8,800 square feet, and yet I don't feel that I saw 8,800 square feet of pictures. So I saw some nice stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I don't even know what's in the rest of the rooms. I didn't see a kitchen, or we saw one kitchen. I don't know if that's the only kitchen. Maybe it is, but if it is, that didn't blow me away. So I'm confused on what's inside the rest of that house. I don't understand, but I will say I think I have to go Vail here only because I don't know. Again, I don't know. Like inside of that sort of old colonial look might be a bunch of rooms that are very closed off and segregated and all of those things that I might not like that, you know? I mean, like, I don't know what I'm getting in that house. I have no idea. I like the grounds a lot, but I don't know what I'm getting. And the maintenance on those grounds is insane. And so purely from that standpoint, I think I have to go. I think I have to go Vail because I've at least seen most of that house and I know what's happening. They do have the spa. That's very cool. And so I think I hate the pool. I really do. I hate the pool. I thought it was going to be cool and then it's just not. But I have to go Vail because there's just too much. There's just too much I don't know about the Greenwich place. And it's such a weird thing to sell a house for $40 million and not to show a single picture inside a home. It makes me not want to go look because I'm mad that they didn't show us anything. Like it makes me want to say like I'm not going to give you my $45 million or whatever because it's not worth it to me to go look. You know what I mean? So anyways, I think so. It's a clean sweep for us. It's a clean sweep for us. It was a weird episode. It's a very weird episode. We saw some new stuff that we hadn't seen before. We saw some we didn't see some stuff that we usually see. I'm very confused on what happened today. But that was it. That was House Battle Uber Rich Edition. Greenwich, Connecticut, Vail, Colorado, 40 to $45 million. We are declaring a winner. It's Vail. Today is Vail. Maybe Greenwich will come back next time. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be back. I'm sure we'll check out another one. But again, that's it. That's what's going on. We appreciate anybody watching and you know, all of that. We appreciate the support. Please tell other people. It helps us out. If you have ideas for, you know, other places you want us to see, whether individual houses or cities or whatever, you know, hit us up. We have an email. What's the email?
info.housebattle@gmail.com.
All right. So you can hit us up there. You know, you can hit us up on social media, whatever, all those things. Just, you know, get in contact with us if you got some ideas. Otherwise, we will be back next time with 2 more houses in 2 more cities, waiting for us to make one more decision. We will see everybody then.